So today we're going to have a quick look at how to tune the guitar. It's a pretty easy process to do, and you're going to find that there's a couple of useful things that you can have that will help you here. You'll find on some more expensive guitars that you will actually have an inbuilt tuner, especially if it's an electroacoustic. So for example, on my guitar here, there's actually a tuner just down in this little panel here. For a lot of acoustic guitars and all electric guitars, you'll find that there isn't an inbuilt tuner though. So what you're going to have to do for that is you're either going to need a tuning app on your phone, or you're going to find that you'll need a clip-on tuner. So you'll get a tuner that clips onto the headstock of your guitar just up here. So what you'll find by turning the machine head is that it changes the pitch that the string is. So for example, as you can hear here, as I turn that, it makes the pitch go up. And as I turn it the other way, it makes the pitch go down. What you're going to find by using these apps or these onboard tuners, they're going to tell you straight away whether your note is in tune or out of tune. So let's have a look at one of these apps that you can use. So today we're going to have a look at which app to use for tuning your guitar. So the app that we're going to use today is called Guitar Tuner. It's just up here, and if we click on this, it's going to open up. It's a great app to use and it's free, so it's absolutely perfect for when you're getting started. One of the things you'll notice straight away is that you've got what we call the headstock of the guitar. That's this little bit up here. And next to each of the strings, there's a string name. Now, if you don't know the string names, that's not a problem at all. The most important thing to remember is that this note here is going to be the thickest string, or the string that you should have closest to the ceiling. Then you go through all the strings here. So that would be the sixth string, the fifth string, the fourth string, third string, second string, and first string. So with the sixth string being closest to the ceiling and the first string being closest to the floor. What you'll usually find when you play a note, that as long as the guitar isn't too far out of tune, it's likely to recognize the note anyway. So as you see here, when I play the E string, it recognizes and lights up on that E string there. So it recognizes the note straight away. Now, the way that this works is if when you play a note, and this little dot here moves to the left over here, it means your note is too low. So you need to tighten the string by turning these little bits on your guitar to make the pitch go higher. If it's on this side, it means the note is too high, and you need to turn these things here, they're called the machine heads, to make it a little bit lower. So for example here, when I play my note, as you can see, that E string is pretty close there. Let's give it one more go. Now, as you can see, there is a little bit of wobble around there. Don't worry about that. As long as you hear that green bing sound, it means you're in tune. So we're just going to check the other strings as we go through. So we're going to play the fifth string now. As you can see, that one is pretty much perfect. Let's try the fourth string. Okay, let's try the third string. So that one's too low there, so I'm going to turn it. Now, one of the things to be aware of here, if you're using a nylon string guitar, so those are the ones with the plastic strings closest to the floor, they take a little bit more turning. Be a little bit more careful if you've got what we call a steel string guitar, so all your strings are metal. You're very unlikely to find that you need more than a quarter turn to half a turn to get something in tune. So just to show you here, I've turned that machine head there about a quarter of a turn to bring that into tune, and it was quite far out of tune there. Right, so we're going to go for the B string now, second from the floor. And then we're going to go for the E string, and this one's the closest to the floor. Okay, and that should be your guitar in tune. So now your guitar's in tune, you're pretty much ready to go with anything that you want to play. There's a couple of little tips just to help keep your guitar in tune. Firstly, what I'd recommend is most times when you go to pick up the guitar, do just give it a quick check. You want to be checking it at least 2 or 3 times a week, but I'd recommend it most times when you pick it up. Then you'll often find that if you do that, the process is pretty quick and it only takes you less than a minute to get your guitar in tune. The next thing that you want to consider as well is where you leave your guitar. If you're leaving it in direct sunlight, or if you're leaving it next to a radiator so it gets hot and cold a lot, it doesn't do your guitar much good anyway, but also you'll find that your guitar goes out of tune quite quickly. The final one, and this is the one I probably see most often, is be really careful when you're moving your guitar around. I mean, they are pretty sturdy things, but you don't want to be dropping this thing. The most obvious time that a guitar will go out of tune quite dramatically is if you do drop it. So get yourself a good sturdy stand, preferably with a lock at the top to hold it in place, and don't leave it just leaning against a wall or something like that, because that's guaranteed that it's going to go. If you do have any more questions about how to keep your guitar in tune, do just give me a quick call or pop me a message and I'll see what I can do to help.